What should we spend investors' money on? This is the question that doesn't make you sleep at night. Maybe it's because you just got money from investors and you need to spend them, or maybe it is because you are planning to get the money, to ask the money, and you need a sort of strategy, a sort of plan to show how it is that you are going to use this money. One of the biggest mistakes I see when a startup gets money, or even when a small business gets some investors' money, is to immediately go and spend this money on marketing. So this is a mistake that people make because they look what big companies do, and big companies, they burn millions on marketing. But there is a reason for that. They're burning millions on marketing because they have figured out already all the part that comes before. Your company most likely is in a different position. So you shouldn't spend the money on marketing immediately. You have other activities to do before you start burning investors' money on the marketing. If you don't know me, my name is Andrea, and I've been helping companies like yours to grow and make more money since 2013. So I've been at this for a while. I'm making this video because I've been bootstrapping my ventures for my entire life, and I really hate to see companies burning money in ways that are not optimal. They're not efficient ways to grow. Now, I prepared for you a roadmap, and this roadmap starts with product development, which you have done already. If you're getting money from investors, very likely you have done product development, you have something to sell, and it is very likely that you are in this sort of situation here where you have sold already some of your products, or you got customers for your service in case it is a service that you are providing. So you have done this proof of concept that the thing you have can be sold. There is a market for that. So that's where usually investors come in with the money and they give you the dollars, the Benjamins. At this point, what most companies do is this: they invest money in marketing. And this is wrong. Why it's wrong? Because there is a gap. You see, there is a huge gap between where you are right now and the marketing up here. So what you need to do instead is to improve your sales operations. Okay, so you need to spend money in sales. And why is that? Because with more sales, you are actually getting customers and data. The customers are using your products, you are creating transactions, and the behavior of customers on your website leaves a trail of data that we can use to understand how customers interact with your current process and how they interact with your product. So this is very important for the next stage, but let's still talk about sales. When I say sales at this stage, I mean that you literally have to sell the product one unit at a time. If that is what it takes for you to grow, at this stage it's okay, because you are still figuring out what is the best sales process to sell your product. What is the best pitch you can develop for your customers, not for the investor, for your customers to sell the product. At this stage, a lot of processes are done manually, and they need to be done manually because you need to refine really the way you do it. So at this stage, you should spend money to grow a customer base, and you should spend money to hire salespeople which are skilled enough to help you in acquiring more customers. If you plan, for example, to have people buying directly from your website in the future, it helps to establish already email automations to help start the process. But you see, you have to see them as sales automations, not as marketing automations, because they're not. You can go and watch the video where is the line between marketing and sales, but there is no such thing as email marketing. It's email automation, and it is done for sales, not for marketing. With this in mind, at this stage, everything you do is to promote sales. You spend money here until you don't have enough customer base to be able to talk to them and make some sort of statistics. So you need at the very least 100 customers to be able to have some data to analyze. And at this point, you go in the stage of positioning and messaging. Now, most people think that positioning is a part of marketing, but it's not. Positioning, you can see like sales, marketing, and product development. It's kind of triangle, and positioning is right here in the middle. And it is above the parties. Positioning is an activity that helps product development, sales, and marketing to get on the same page where the customer is. And position is done by talking to the customers to understand what is that they like about your product and what is that they would like to have that you still don't have. So that's why positioning feeds back into product development and also in sales, because you have to modify your message in order to be able to unlock more and more transactions. So once you have figured this out and you have spent the money in the positioning work, you create the messaging that you will be using in marketing. So at this point, you do marketing because you already have figured out what's your positioning, you see? Now I know you may say, oh, Andrea, we know what's our positioning, we have done our research, we know what our product does, we know who our customer is. Except you don't, because if you haven't spent the money on positioning and done the positioning work, these are assumptions. These are all assumptions. And if you don't talk to the customers, you have no idea how far you are from the product market fit. So that part of the job, somebody has to do it. Usually, companies pay some external consultant to this part of the job, even because it is above the parties. Again, it's not part of marketing, okay? So it encompasses marketing, sales, and product development, and it comes before marketing. Be very mindful about your positioning and don't assume that you have already figured that out. Actually, positioning is a dynamic thing and it's always a step of the process. This becomes a cycle, and I'll come to that in a moment. But before, to remember this simple roadmap, you can see this like this. Look, it's a megaphone, you see? And marketing is the last stage because it's the thing that outputs your message to the world. See, if you think of megaphone, you remember that marketing is the last thing that spreads your message. Yeah, it's cool. Now, there is one last activity that is very, very important and where you should spend your investors' money. But before I come to that, why don't you do yourself a favor and click the like button so YouTube will understand that you appreciate this kind of content and it will show you more and more of these videos on your feed. Plus, I also get this valuable feedback, your like, and this helps me to understand that I should make more of this content. All right, thank you for taking the time to click the like button. Let's see the last piece of the puzzle. The last piece of the puzzle is the conversion rate optimization program. Now, this is an activity with a very long name, but basically it means that we have to start to track and measure everything and try to improve every step of the process, from getting traffic to getting leads to sending emails to these leads, open rates, click rates, and then selling products to these leads and then collecting the feedback. So everything you have done so far has to be monitored, like its performance, and it has to be improved, okay? And this is why the conversion rate optimization program feeds back in product development, in sales, in your positioning and messaging activities, and in the marketing itself, all right? And this is the very last thing you do because you need to have everything in place before you can improve it. Now I want to address one common mistake that happens when you're doing marketing immediately without having done enough sales and without having defined your positioning well enough. So what happens is that you do the marketing and you go out with a marketing message. This marketing message does not reflect your optimal product market fit. So because of this, your marketing starts to attract visitors and leads that are not a good fit for your product. And your conversion rate, of course, suffers. Then what happens, since your conversion rate now is very, very low, you think, oh, I need to spend in conversion rate optimization program. And so you add costs to your already expensive marketing. But you see, this leads to burning more and more money trying to fix things that should have been fixed in the very beginning. This is why it is so important that you follow this roadmap and you do the step that is in front of you based on the particular conditions of your business, of your company, and not on what other companies around you are doing, and not on the experience of the investor with another company, because that company could have been in a totally different position from where you are right now. So remember, your roadmap for spending investors' money is like a megaphone, and it goes from product development to marketing, and on top of that you have to build and run your conversion optimization program, and that basically never stops. You keep optimizing and increasing transactions and sales and revenue and this goes on forever. And so this is the end of this video. You can go ahead and watch the next one.